Hey everybody! So today's scary story is about Annabelle, the haunted doll. Now if you guys went and saw the movie The Conjuring, which I did, you noticed in the very beginning of the movie that doll. Well, that doll is actually legitimately real. The only thing is, of course, in the movie they made the doll a little more creepy than the doll in real life. The doll in real life is actually a Raggedy Ann doll. In 1970, a girl named Donna, college student, got Annabelle from her mother. Her mother got the doll at a local feed store. Donna had a roommate named Angie, and they kept the doll in the dorm room. Donna kept it on her bed. You know, they didn't think anything was special about the doll, just the doll, and, you know, a little piece of home from Donna's mother that she thought she'd keep with her. Over time, they both started to notice how the doll kind of moved a little bit. Nothing too like extreme, just something that you might claim as like, oh, it's just kind of jostled a bit, or somebody bumped the bed, like, you know, maybe the hand was here but it got flipped over to the side, or maybe the legs were crossed and then they're uncrossed, or they weren't crossed and they became crossed, you know, little things like that, but nothing too out of the normal. Over a few weeks, they noticed that it got worse. She would actually start leaving rooms. As soon as the girls would leave for their classes, leave the dorm room, when they come back, they would find that she had left the bed and was now on the couch, or left the bed and was in another room. You know, she was completely mobile, moving wherever she pleased. A guy friend named Lou, who was just creeped out by the doll. He didn't like it at all. He thought the doll was evil, there's something bad about it, but the girls didn't believe in that sort of thing. But soon after, Annabelle's actions got a little weirder, and when the girls would leave, when they come back, they would find little notes on parchment paper written, "Help us," or "Help Lou," and the weird part was nobody had parchment paper. Then it got worse again. One night, Donna returned home to her dorm and found Annabelle on her bed with what looked like blood on her, or some sort of red liquid, but it looked like it was coming from the doll, as if it was seeping through. By then, that was like Donna's last straw, so she agreed, along with her roommate and their friend Lou, to bring in a medium. The person sat with the doll and then told the girls that there was a huge field property before the complex was built. A girl named Annabelle Higgins had been found dead in that field, and her spirit remained in that location. The sensitive, the little girl's spirit just wanted to be safe, and she felt that the two girls in the room were trustworthy, and she just wanted to be friends and stay with them. We're the loving and nurturing type, and they agreed that Annabelle can stay. So that's where the name Annabelle came into play. Stay over sometimes, and after the medium had come in, Lou started having nightmares. Annabelle was coming up through his sheets and climbing on top of him, and he was frozen in fear, and she came up and tried to suffocate him, and he would wake up in a cold sweat and gasping for breath. Later, the three of them, the girls and their friend, were planning a road trip, and as they're planning this road trip, they hear rustling around in Donna's room. And they think, is there an intruder? Like, did someone break in through the window? So Lou gets up and he goes over to the door and he's listening, and he's hearing this rustling around there, and, you know, he's getting freaked out a little bit. He thrusts open the door. Everything's in its place. Nothing's been moved, except Annabelle is in the corner of the room. Walks into the room and gets close to Annabelle, just stares at the doll, and then he starts feeling like this burning sensation on the back of his neck, and then starts to feel as if somebody's like right behind him, so he spins around and there's nobody there. Starts to feel this pain on his chest, and he lifts up his shirt and looks, and there's these scratch marks that are just appearing out of nowhere, and he just knew that Annabelle did it. He knew that they needed like more help. So they contacted a priest, which actually contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren. To their apartment to check out the doll. Didn't take them long to realize that it was not a ghost, like a spirit of a little girl, but an inhuman spirit, a demon that had attached itself to the doll. They were warned by Ed and Lorraine that the doll wasn't actually possessed, because demons don't possess objects, they possess people. Ed latched itself onto the doll to manipulate it, to move it, to mimic a haunting, to get their attention. Was actually Donna's soul. Exorcism on the apartment, and Ed and Lorraine took Annabelle, put her in a bag, in their car, and proceeded to drive home. To stay off the main highways because they kind of had this feeling, kind of a fear that the demon might try to manipulate the car, and they would rather not put anybody else in danger, especially on a busy highway. As they are taking the back roads, the engine keeps cutting out. The steering keeps getting screwed up, and they keep having problems with their brakes. And Ed gets out and he opens the bag with Annabelle in it, and he sprinkles in holy water, and the weird things with the car stop for now. When they arrive home, Ed keeps the doll right next to his desk, and he notices it starting to levitate. The levitating happened a couple times, and then it seemed to quit after a little bit. But then a couple weeks later, she was back to her old tricks where she was going from room to room, changing her positions. The Warrens then called in a Catholic priest to have an exorcism done on the doll. The priest did not take them seriously when he arrived. He basically was looking at the doll and was like, "You're just the doll, you can't hurt anybody." But when he left, driving home, the priest's brakes failed and he was in a horrible accident, totaling the car. He did survive. Eventually, the Warrens built a glass case, put Annabelle in it and locked it away, and she's still there till this day. And whatever horrible entity is attached to this doll is still in there, waiting. So you guys tell me, what do you think? Do you think Annabelle is legitimately haunted? Do you think it's a demon? Do you think it's a spirit? Do you even think it's real? Do you think it's totally fake? I kind of find it creepy that if there is something attached to this doll, that it's locked away right now, but what happens in the future? Like, who's gonna take over? Because the Warrens have a kind of like a haunted room, like with objects that they've sealed, or they've put, you know, cast prayers and things over and exercise. So they have all these objects, you know, like, and there's that show, The Haunted Collector. You know, what happens when people pass on, and who takes over after, and are they gonna keep it up? Are they going to make sure everything stays the same, or is somebody gonna have a giant yard sale of these things and just, who knows, you know? What do you guys think? Let me know down below. I'm going to show you a photo at the end of this video of Annabelle, and you let me know what you think. I don't think a Raggedy Ann doll is that creepy, but I guess if something that looks not creepy is creepy, I don't know, it's kind of a different view on things.